Why exactly were you switching us?
Okay.
Just curious.
There were some people that can't be videotaped, so I just went ahead and moved their seat, so they wouldn't be on the screen.
How do you know?
What video did you
Hey guys, the Herbert.
Did you sign anything or what?
Most of you are not on the videotape. It's aimed at me, so it's like.
Yeah. You might see my face a couple times.
What?
Just
You're gonna show us.
I'm gonna.
All right, Steve.
Yes. Cool. As Hermine already said, I'm doing a project for a class that I'm in at National University. I am getting my high school credential. I speak German, but because my professors at the university don't speak German and this is about teaching, I have to teach you in English for the most part. We can do a little bit of German stuff later if you want to. But my point in doing this lesson, does anybody know what's happening right now, today and tomorrow in Germany? February 23rd.
Sie hat neue Auto.
Oh, Carnival.
Oh,
Carnival. Carnival. So we want to figure out what is Carnival. What do you already know about it, etc. Anybody share anything in the past years? What have you already learned about Carnival? Food. Food.
And masks.
Like masks. Good.
Jugglers.
Jugglers. Those are all
Clowns?
things. Clowns.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared of
Beer.
Beer. Yes, there's always beer. But especially at Carnival. Any other particular things?
Are there plays?
That's interesting. In some cities there are. It's not everywhere in Germany, but in some cities there are little plays and sort of old-fashioned dramatic things that go on. Why is Carnival? I mean, what is it in particular?
Another reason, a good reason.
Is there any good reason for it? To get wasted. Well, in some cases that may be true.
Over there.
Wait, what?
Oh no. He said the wedding.
You're thinking of Oktoberfest, I think. Oktoberfest is about a wedding.
It was a celebration of
People.
Oh yeah, celebration or something.
of individuality.
It is indeed religious. That's
I guess
the
it's
main
something
point.
mark or something.
It has to do. It is Catholic religious. It has to do with the hierarchy, the coming up to Easter and things like that. So I will go through some of the details on it, but you're right. It is basically a religious festival, but many people celebrate it. You can keep that. You can write on it whatever you want. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the history of Carnival and other things. So, I'm going to turn this on.
Just the very top part there?
Oh.
Exactly.
Is this the one that doesn't stay up? Looks like it.
Yes.
You can stick a little piece of paper in there.
There you go. No one ever says that.
All right. That's done. Do you want to turn off the lights to make it a little brighter? Oh my goodness. So, Carnival is a rather old celebration, and it takes place in many countries all around the world, not just Germany. Dating back a long time ago, ancient Roman, ancient German, ancient anything had a lot of fertility celebrations, right? In the springtime, what happens? The crops start to be planted and growing, so they're celebrating planting, coming out of wintertime, planting their crops, hoping for a good season, a good harvest, and things like that. So that's really where this came from, because it starts in the springtime. They're hoping for a good season. So a lot of times in old days, people would dress up as sun or moon or flowers or things like that that had to do with nature. In the Dark Ages, what are the Dark Ages? What time period are we talking?
World War II.
World War II, no, much before that.
Like
The Arthur.
Yeah,
pretty good.
1500s, 1400s, 1300s. Before, just before the medieval ages, or the Dark Ages, where not much was happening in terms of learning and culture and everything. So they had spring festivals, still continued in the old times. And they also started to, especially in Germany and in Italy and other places, want to drive away the winter, right? There were ice ages and lots of winter time during the Dark Ages. So they wanted to get rid of winter, so they would wear costumes with bells, and they would make tons of noise, rattle, do things like that, trying to drive away the evil spirits of winter. And that still continues today. Obviously, they don't believe that they're really driving away the evil spirits, but the bells and the costumes and things like that continue. So, driving winter spirits away. And then came Catholic Church, Christian Church, things like that. How would they react to driving away evil winter spirits? Would the Catholic Church approve of that? No, because that doesn't go in line with Catholic belief, right? They don't believe in those kinds of things. So the Catholic Church said, we don't want you to celebrate that kind of festivity, but you're having a celebration. We might as well take over the celebration and celebrate it in a religious way. So they did. They established what they called Carnival, or in certain areas they call it different terms. We'll talk about the different terms in a few minutes.
Fastnacht.
Fastnacht is one, or Fasching is the other. I have another page, we'll talk about the different terms. So the Catholic Church really was the one that established Carnival.
Interesting.
This, I think you can see the clowns there.
Aschermittwoch.
Yeah, Aschermittwoch, Ash Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
That is this Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. In the Catholic tradition, this is not necessarily true in Protestant churches or other things, but in the Catholic tradition, starting on Ash Wednesday, there's a 40-day period until Easter. That's a long time, 40 days. During this 40-day period that's called Lent, you're not really supposed to eat meat. You're not really supposed to eat sweets or sugar or drink a lot of beer or anything like that. You're supposed to have a very somber, slow, religious time, being very serious.
Yeah, isn't it because they're trying not so much mimic, but kind of, well, yeah, mimic what they think Jesus did for
Exactly.
us, like sacrificing himself.
Exactly. Again, in the Catholic tradition, they're saying Jesus went through all this suffering right before he died at Easter, right? And so you're supposed to sort of reflect on that, also be very serious and thankful for what Jesus went through in their belief. So that's Ash Wednesday, day after tomorrow, Wednesday, right? But up until then, you can do whatever you want. So these last 2 days before Ash Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday, are huge parties throughout Catholic countries and other Christian countries. So Carnival is celebrated on the 2 days, especially leading up to Ash Wednesday. Monday, which in Germany is called Rosenmontag, Rose Monday, and Tuesday, which is called Faschingsdienstag, Carnival Tuesday, right? Weirdly, if you ever go to Germany and spend time there and you're there in November, you'll notice that they have 1 day of partying in November, on November 11th at 11:11 a.m. That's all 11s, right?
St. Martin's.
Is that St. Martin's Day? I don't know, it may
At
be.
the end of World War something.
It may be. The main point is it somehow works out to 40 days before Christmas or something like that. So it sort of is the same time frame before Easter and before Christmas. So they start celebrating on that day. 11, right? 11 at 11:11. So you will see big parties on the 11th, but then they sort of go dormant. They don't do much until February, when they really start to ramp up the celebrations for Carnival. What do you have in other countries during Carnival?